Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in. I'm sitting up here in northern Wisconsin, home of giant smallmouth, an area that I have fished since I was a little kid and caught tons and tons of smallmouth out of super deep water. We just got back from the St. Lawrence River where we were fishing super deep water for smallmouth bass. And that led to a little bit of discussion amongst some of the anglers as to what's the best way to care for smallmouth or largemouth or spotted bass that you catch out of super deep water. And for those of you that aren't aware of this, when you catch a smallmouth or any bass or any fish that has an air bladder out of super deep water, when you pull them up at a quick rate, they end up having very expanded air bladders, which can lead to issues for the fish because they've brought up so quickly. They are not able to shrink that air bladder to release the air pressure or the pressure in itself to swim back down to deeper water. It's similar to if you're a scuba diver. If you're down at a deep water and you come up too quickly, you get the bends. It's a very similar issue that happens. And, there was a lot of discussion as to what's the best way to treat these fish. For me personally, I am a big fan of using fish clips. And what I mean by fish clip, this is just a weighted clip with an alligator clip that you clip onto the pectoral fins or the anal fin. And what that does is it rights the fish up and it keeps them in the bottom of the live well. And by keeping them in the bottom of the live well, and belly side down, over the course of the day, those fish are able to relieve that pressure. And for me, that's the best thing that I have found to do. When you go to release, weigh your fish in or release your fish at the end of the day, what you'll find is that they don't have that rock hard belly because they have released that pressure. Another thing that some people do is they'll use a needle and actually pop this into the air bladder to remove air pressure. And, that's an immediate course of action. I personally, based on the research that I have done, I don't think that that's the best means to do it. I think it's very invasive. I think you're puncturing an organ within the fish. And if you're using a needle that's rusty, that can lead to infection over time. It also can lead to just, health issues over the time. So in my opinion, that's not the best way to do it. You do get an immediate release of pressure and the fish will right themselves up much quickly or more quickly. But I'm not sure that that's the best means to do it. Some people will also just keep their fish in their live well without doing anything to it. And in that case, the fish will survive for a period of time, but they'll be belly side up. They will not get themselves, they will not be able to release the pressure over time. And that's probably the worst thing to do to them. But you need to do something to the fish that you catch out of super deep water if you want them to survive and live a regular life moving forward. For me personally, that has to do with using clips, fin clips that are weighted. I think that's the least invasive method. If any of you guys that are watching have specific research or data that shows that that does not work, please let me know. I would love to look into it. If any of you have data that says that the needle method is the best method and the healthiest method, I'd love to read that as well. I know I've read several reports that highly suggest not to use the needle because it can lead to issues. And I'll add that, when I've done it in the past, I have killed way more fish using a needle than I have using any sort of weights. If you miss that air bladder, you can cause serious bleeding and have the fish bleed out pretty quickly. So it's not a simple poke. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't want to be poked in my organs with a needle. I can't imagine that it's a healthy thing to do to the fish in the long run. So if any of you have actual scientific evidence that suggests that's the best method to do it, I would have no problem switching over. But at this point, for me, The easiest and best method that I've seen to release fish in the healthiest manner is to use fin clips. So guys, for those of you that fish deep water, let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to see it. You know, and I think this is a topic that doesn't have as much research done on it that it probably should, you know, because a lot of us, especially during the summer months, are catching fish out of extremely deep water, and we want to make sure that we're taking care of the resource that we have and making sure that we can catch them for years to come. So please guys, I'm just asking, if you have any information that says one method is better than another, please let me know what that is. Leave it in the comment section so that myself and the rest of you can learn and take care of the resources that we have. So thanks for watching guys. Stay tuned. New tips and tricks come out every day.